Wow. I spent 2 hours and about 15 minutes on this closet. This was this was a lot. It's been a long time coming. It's really needed a good cleaning out. I rearranged the closet and got it looking much nicer. So I'm really happy with how this turned out, but wow, did it take a long time. And it's nice that it's a better format the way it's set up now. Our closet kind of doubles as a linen closet as well as like a clothes closet. So you're going to see where I'm going to get out all of our clothes. Obviously, I'm not getting rid of anything that belongs to my husband. So I will get rid of a little bit of stuff that belongs to me, but I do keep it pretty clutter-free. There have been several clothes that I've weeded out already as I've lost weight. So I'm doing pretty good on that. That's my math hat. I love that hat. Not to get too political, but man, we could have had Yang. We could have had Yang, but no, that's not who we have. All right, back to clothes. So this might look like a lot to start. There is even more coming. And I don't know, some of our clothes are folded, some of it is hanging up, which is weird for me because I guess most of my life I guess not when I was a little kid, but when I moved out, almost everything was hanging up. I didn't like to keep a lot of stuff folded. But except for like the basics. I was really happy to get some organizing cubes. You can see me holding one there, that gray one that I just put down for the closet. I had to order a couple sets of those to fill up the closet. I found those on Amazon, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. They were very useful to get everything organized. But yeah, it is a little weird to me, like having some of my clothes and shorts and stuff folded instead of hanging up. I guess I'm just not used to that. And my yoga mat that I keep in there. I guess it's also just general workout mat. There's a bunch of like random stuff in the closet too. Those are my dad's old army boots, which I love. I can't really wear them very often, but I really love them, and so I keep them. I've got my Captain America shield. As you're about to see pretty soon, my closet is full of nerdy things as decoration. I guess I'm a closet nerd, except I'm not very closet about it. But yeah, we've got like sheets in there because it's also kind of a linen closet. We don't keep any towels in there or anything. I keep a couple sentimental things, as you can see them there. That's my stuffed German Shepherd. I named her Gina because we had some people in our neighborhood when I was growing up who had a German Shepherd named Gina. And I had a German Shepherd named Annie, but I didn't want to name my stuffed animal after Annie because I already had the real thing. So I named it Gina after the German Shepherd in our neighborhood. And then that little bear is a memento from my grandfather. He gave that on my dad's side. He gave that to me when I was pretty little. Cause I think I was in 3rd grade when he died. And that was hard. I really liked him. But apparently there were some challenges in the relationship with him and my dad. And I wasn't allowed to go to the funeral, which I was kind of sad about. I wasn't even really allowed to, like, openly grieve. It was like, why are you crying? You know? So, I don't know. I liked him. He was really nice to me. But I understand that was not everyone else's relationship with him. Family stuff is always complicated, isn't it? I feel kind of like I'm trying to like not be in the therapist role, but I feel I don't know. It's like I'm on a tightrope or something, you know. My my daughter and my parents kind of had a disagreement, and she was staying the weekend with them, and I guess it didn't go well, and she was really upset the whole time. So, I don't know, it was just kind of sad that everyone seemed kind of miserable, and I didn't really get to relax or anything because I was so stressed about her. I mean, I'm still glad that I went away for a couple days, but knowing that she was upset the whole time just kind of soured the trip, you know? And I would rather have known that she was upset than not know, so I'm glad that they told me about it. But I also wish, I don't know, I wish things could have gone differently, and I'm sure they all do too. So I'm trying to, I guess, encourage my daughter to, address her part in it, but also for my parents to see what they could have done differently too. And I don't want to offend them or be like, oh, you don't know how to take care of a kid, because obviously they do. They've taken care of many kids. I don't know. I know that my daughter is a lot like me, and we have a lot of similarities in how we see the world. I think we're both neurodivergent in a very similar way. I think she has some of my neurodivergence and some of my husband's. So I know that there are certain ways her brain works that might not, that definitely don't fit a neurotypical pattern that might work for other people. And so there's a certain way to encourage that being neurodiverse affirmative and not expecting to act in a neurotypical way. I'm being very vague because I don't want to, spread personal information about people or embarrass anyone. But I want to kind of explain, it's no one's fault, but there are also things that both sides could have done differently. Obviously, you don't put all that on a child. It's never, all a kid's fault. But there are certain things you can do to help a child feel more comfortable, and certain things certain communication skills you can help a child learn for when they're in an environment they're not really used to. So I think that was also part of it. It was very different from the typical routine. So we keep our cat carrying cases in here because this is the best room in the house, probably, for if there were a tornado. So we want to be able to shelter in here and have everything we need to shelter in here. I also try to make sure everything here is soft and nothing really heavy. Soft / not heavy stuff, in case it all came crashing down on us while we're trying to shelter. And always just prepare for the worst, etc., etc. That poster back there, and then there's one that's behind the cat carrier. My cat Christmas sweater. Those posters I made in my Jungian psychology class in my undergrad, which was such a fun class. I really loved learning a little more about myself. Oh my gosh, I love this sweater. Mazel tov. That's my Hanukkah sweater. But yeah, I don't know. It was a really good way to kind of introspect, and the most useful thing, which I still have not been able to use in session yet with a client, because I don't know, it takes a certain type of person to be interested in this. But for myself, I learned a lot of dream analysis and how to get the meaning of a dream. Seminoles, baby. I don't even watch football, but still, Seminoles. Yeah, so I used to have nightmares constantly, all the time. It was just every night. the only way I could go to sleep and not have a nightmare is if I fell asleep watching something. And then that was bad because I would put like movies or shows on and just fall asleep to that. And it would, I love that sweater. It would like drown out the nightmares. But then I started to fall asleep every time I went to a movie theater, or like every time someone put a movie on. It was just instant, I'm going to sleep, because my brain just associated watching something with going to sleep. So it was so helpful that I learned the dream analysis, because the nightmares stopped as soon as I started analyzing them. And it's because like the way I started viewing them as nightmares being an urgent message from your subconscious or unconscious or whatever word you want to use. It's an urgent message from something you're not conscious of. And it's trying to tell you something that you really need to know and you're not acknowledging in your waking life. And then you get into looking at what do all the elements of your dream symbolize. Every part of your dream is a part of you. So like if your dream takes place in a house with a bunch of people, you're each person. You are the house. You are the whatever the food being served is. You know, you're every element of that dream. And then you look at like what do those dreams mean? That's my Castiel. I only wear that when I dress up as Castiel. From Supernatural. That's my dad's army jacket. So yeah, so like you look at what do those dreams mean? What do those symbols in the dream mean? And then you relate yourself to that. Like, I don't know, say symbol X meant, I don't know, fear of dying. So you look at like what part of yourself is afraid of dying. Yeah, I'm just pulling random things out because I don't really want to go down memory lane with my nightmares right now. But you just do that with each symbol in the dream, and it's actually really helpful in figuring out, okay, so my subconscious was trying to tell me that I am super miserable at my job and I feel like I'm dying. Or my subconscious is trying to tell me that I'm feeling really guilty about the way I handled something. So now every time I have a nightmare, which I'm so glad that it's a rare thing now, I apply that method and it doesn't keep recurring. So if I think of it that way, there was probably a lot of inner stuff that I was ignoring. Yeah, I have like 3 vests, and I never wear any of them. I think I wear like a vest once a year when I dress up as Castiel, because I put on the whole like business suit thing that he's got under it, at least in the first season we see him. He's got the business suit, and he's got the weird jacket, which reminds me of like a Flasher jacket. But and then like the blue tie. That's the only reason I have a blue tie that looks like it does. You'll probably see that later. So I just decide I'm just going to keep one vest because I never really wear them anyway, and they're all too large for me now anyway. So that little stack of shirts that I put there, and I end up moving that neck pillow later because I don't know where to put it for now. But I only keep those shirts that I'm folded up there in case we have another surgery, anyone has another surgery. I used those when I had top surgery because I needed something that buttoned up and was just like really large. Those are like extra large or something. And just comfortable that I didn't have to really fuss with. And I didn't want to be raising my arms at all. I don't even think I buttoned them most of the time. I just kind of walked around in pain for 6 weeks. Whatever it was. I can't remember how long the pain lasted. It's kind of a blur now. So I decide that I'm going to rearrange the closet, because before it was the side you're looking at now, that was my side of the closet, and then the other side was my husband's side. But I don't know. He never really put things back where they go. It was hard for him to understand. It was just, I didn't like putting things away in there because it was hard to get to my casual clothes. So I decided to put all the dress clothes on this side, both his and mine. I mean, we both basically wear the same size anyway. He might be a little smaller. I don't know. At least he was. I don't know if he still is, since my body changed. But yeah, I'm also like trying to be color coordinated here and make all the hangers black for the shirts. I really like my blue shirts. I have way too many blue dress shirts, but I really like them. They've lasted a long time. I probably have too many dress shirts, period, but I don't know. I like to change it up, and I'd like to have every single color. I don't wear that one very much, but my friend gave it to me, and I think it would be appropriate for some occasions, but I don't wear it too often. For a while, I was just wearing like a dress shirt and then a pair of jeans, like dark blue or gray, because I don't know. I wanted to be professional, but I also wanted to be relaxed because I was mostly working with kids, so I didn't want to look, stuffy. I don't know. I don't know what the exact thing you're supposed to wear is. I think it varies based on person, but that was comfortable for me. I can't wear dress shoes anyway because I have to wear corrective shoes, and they have holes in them. Eventually, when I'm making more money, I can finally buy some clothes, some shoes that don't have holes in them and are corrective. I've got like the one green. Men's clothes are so boring, but I like that one. That one's got little cranes and it's like a light pink. I think it's my only pink one. And then the white ones get like stains around the collar, so I don't wear those too much. Plus, I don't like to wash a separate load of whites, and I usually don't like separate my lights and darks. I don't know who still does that. I think some people do, but it's kind of bizarre to me. I just want to throw everything in. I mean, the stuff is made better these days, I guess, that it doesn't bleed. I wouldn't want to buy something that bled into other clothes anyway. And then I would like to get a better black dress shirt because the one I have is, I don't know, not so great. But yeah. Now I'm finally moving on to the pants. I also decided that I want to have my backup clothes in my car again. I carried around backup dress pants and backup dress shirts in my car for the longest time when I was doing a lot of like in-home and in-school therapy. And one day it finally came in handy. I had carried it around for years. Like, oh man, what if I I don't know, spill something all over myself or somehow have an accident all over myself or whatever. And then one day it finally came in handy because my zipper broke. And I was like, it's fine because I have backup pants. I don't have to worry at all. So I want to put backup clothes in both of my cars now that I'm going to be working more again. I put my least favorite ones in the cars because I'm not going to use them very often, I don't think. And at least that gets them out of the closet. I don't have to look at them or have stuff that I actually like in my car. I like the stuff that's tighter. I brought this one pair of pants to a tailor once because I was trying to get, I don't know, my aunt was trying to get me to get everything tailored, and I really didn't notice much of a difference getting anything tailored. Maybe it was the tailor I went to, but the pants were so baggy in the crotch, and I'm like, is there anything we can do about these? And she's like, they just look like regular pants, they're fine. I don't know. I like stuff that's more form fitting. Think like Mika. Like, I wish I could emulate his style and wear that for work. His stuff looks really nice. Like that form fitting, both pants and shirt. Especially now that I've lost weight, I just think it looks better. I don't like baggy stuff. I think I look best when it's winter or like cold weather. I know Florida's never really cold, but to me it feels cold in the winter and fall. And then I can start wearing sweaters over my dress shirts, and that looks a million times better to me for some reason. I just really hate the way it looks when I tuck my dress shirt into my pants. I don't know. It's not like on other people. It's fine. Like I'm trying to say it's fine on other people. that sentence came out weird because I was trying to think of two things at once. Anyway, so like on other people it looks fine. On me, I just hate how it looks. Like I don't know. I go in the mirror and I'm just like, this looks stupid. But I tuck it in because there's nothing else to do with it. I'm like trying to figure out where to put the ties. I end up putting them back with the jackets and stuff. The best. We like never wear ties anyway. Like I wouldn't wear a tie working as a mental health professional anyway, because what if you get someone like really mad and they start trying to choke you with your tie? I don't know. That was what I was warned about before I started. But yeah. I don't know. I want to find something that looks good. Like a good style. And I think that's maybe why people think I'm straight. People, whenever I go to work, whether it be clients or staff, whenever I've gone to work in the past, they start asking me about my wife. And I'm like, I don't have a wife. Usually I'm just like, I just don't give any information at all. I don't confirm or deny. I don't want to talk about anything personal with my clients, especially about my love life. I don't know. I think that's partially an LGBT plus thing because hetero people seem to be super comfortable and everyone seems to be okay with it when they talk about their heterosexual partner. But anyway, I don't talk about it at all. So I just have to deal with people assuming that I'm straight, which is obnoxious. Where I was going with that is that I think my terrible sense of style is the reason people assume I'm straight. Because, like, if I had a better sense of style, maybe the people would see the gay energy. And I did try to get, like, some dress shirts that are, like, gayer. I don't know. I don't know if they give the energy. It reminds me of Love, Simon. I don't know if that actually happened in the movie or if I'm just like remembering a joke from Tumblr or something where he like Googles how to dress gay because he had that problem. I think it's been so long since I watched it, but of like everyone assuming he was straight. I don't know. I don't like being assumed straight. I wouldn't choose to be straight, and I think that's the mark of someone that's happy with their identity and fully accepts their identity. They wouldn't choose to be, something else. But I do hate the way society treats queer people. Found another jacket. Found some more dress clothes of my husband's too. Because I was like, I thought he had more than this. And what happened to my black jacket? I found my black jacket. A blazer. I never really wear my blazers except when it's super cold. Then I'll wear it over a sweater in the cold Florida winters. I swear when I lived in California, I was not warm one day. I was just constantly freezing. Even my cats were cold. They would huddle up together, cuddle each other. They haven't done that since we moved back to Florida. I love my puzzles and stuff that I put in here. don't know. Makes it just a fun place to be. I want every room to be fun. And I like that it's a bright yellow. That's my Black Panther shirt. I have, oh yeah, that's Mass Effect. I don't usually wear shirts with stuff on them. I usually just wear a plain shirt, but sometimes I want a shirt that has stuff on it. I like that one, but it feels too, like, punk to wear most of the time. I've got 2 Captain America shirts. See, that one I'm like so conflicted on whether I keep it, because everything Harry Potter just makes me sad now. But at the same time, it was like one of the things that really got me through school. Like, it was one of my escape things. Whatever you call it. I would like imagine myself like teaching at Hogwarts, or I like imagine myself. I would imagine that all my classes were like variations of Hogwarts stuff. That's my Soundwave shirt. I only got that for my Soundwave costume. I want to wear it again, but at the same time, I don't want it to get messed up and then not be able to wear it for a Soundwave costume. But yeah, I would like, I think I named like my chemistry class, I called it potions in my journal. And just what the math was like arithmancy. I was a big nerd. This was before she came out as like transphobic, and I wish she never had. Ugh. She's done so much damage to trans people. And like there's even the ableism there that I've been reading about, and the racism, which I think a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. It's just so like soured for me as an adult now. I can't really enjoy it. That's all I think about when I try to enjoy it, is all the horrible stuff that she's promoting, and like all the money she gets, how she uses it, and then people who are still fans of her thinking that that means they agree with her. I don't know. And I know it doesn't. It's just sad. So anyway, that's why I'm so conflicted on like getting rid of it. I've gotten rid of all my other little memorabilia things of Harry Potter. I think I still have the books and the movies, but I don't know. I guess I can't make myself get rid of the shirt yet. I don't know why I keep things that make me sad. I wonder if there's something to that, though. Like, you don't have to keep things that just spark joy. You can also keep things that spark sadness. And that can be valid, too. Is that just me? Because I've never heard anyone talk about that. Of, like, the positive side of keeping things that spark sadness. This reminds me, putting up all these hangers, it reminds me of the unpacking game. It's this amazing Switch game that I just absolutely loved. It was such a creative way to tell a story. So you never really see much of the main character. I think you get like a picture at the end, but you never see the main character other than that. But you can tell things about her from unpacking her boxes as she moves from home to home. And I guess this just made me think of trying to hang up all her clothes, and you could never get everything hung up. There's never enough room to hang everything up. Never enough hangers. But in my real life, I can finally have enough hangers. Yes. I want a video game where there are enough hangers. Anyway, I did love that unpacking game, though. It was so fun. It's so nice to have a game that's not about conflict. It's just about decorating a home, fixing up your home. And then it was such a cool way to tell a story because you learned about the character and about her life just through looking at her things, which is pretty cool. So I put all my casual clothes and stuff like toward the in the back row, and then I put my husband's up front. All of our long sleeve shirts are together. He only had one long sleeve shirt, and then all the short sleeve shirts are mine because he doesn't have any short sleeve shirts that he hangs up. He just likes to fold all of his. We've got 2 math hats. I'm just going to find a place for those. But I want him to be able to find and grab his stuff really easily. And he finally has separate hangers for all his stuff because we kept like cramming stuff on multiple things on a hanger for his stuff. I don't know why. Found a hanger for my belts and his belts. They're all just mixed together. That's the positive thing about having a similar style and to your partner, because you can share clothes and put them together. Aw, kitty. He was in there with me. He didn't care too much about this. He wasn't too interested in it. But I did hear him come out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to grab him. He's so cute. See, I don't know if you can see it, but there are a few DVDs on that shelf that we keep in here. So we don't, well, more my husband than me, but we don't want our daughter to see them and then want to watch them. I think it's like Birds of Prey, because she knows Harley Quinn, and she likes Harley Quinn, but we don't want her, like, wanting to see that, like throwing it in her face of, here's a, like, highly rated, what is it, R, probably, Harley Quinn movie, and you can't see it, but it's going to be, dangling right in front of you. And then there's the Detective Pikachu, which I think she's old enough to watch, but my husband says no, there's some jokes in there that they make that I don't want her repeating because she doesn't really understand it yet and wouldn't be able to control herself on saying them. I don't know. I think she would. But hey, it is what it is. So she hasn't seen Detective Pikachu yet. I think she'll like it when she does. Hopefully she'll still be into Pokemon at that point. I really liked Detective Pikachu. I thought they should make another movie. Like, the characters were really interesting, really good. It was like a neat storyline. It was pretty funny. Oh man, this is where I start like sorting out the socks. So many of my socks ended up with my husband's socks because he has a hard time telling which are mine and which are his. Like, I know, but he doesn't know. He doesn't always know. He knows sometimes. Some of them. So it's good getting them all back in order. Some of them needed to find matches for, and I found matches for most of them. I think there were like 3 or 4 singles left over. I was very happy that I didn't come across many bugs, but I did find, I think I found one like crawling on one of the socks. And I tossed that out there. Disgusted. But I was worried I was going to find a bunch of like silverfish in here, and I'm so happy I didn't. I am worried about that when I finally get to my room, cleaning my room. The one I've been avoiding because of all the shredding that's been building up. Looking forward to that being done, though. And then I can move on to like the laundry area and the garage and stuff. My mouse on my laptop is so weird. Like, half the time I'll be trying to move somewhere on the screen with it, and it just suddenly jerks itself all the way across the screen to like the lower left corner. And I'm like, why? I was going the opposite way, or I was going just not even the opposite way, just somewhere else. And you just decide to throw yourself to the bottom of the screen. Why, mouse? And then like half the time it doesn't even work when I try to, because it's like a touchpad. When I try to click with the touchpad, like It'll work when I click with the touchpad, but it won't work when I click with the mouse clicker at the bottom of it. Like, it just won't register that I clicked something, and then I have to go back and touch it with the mouse pad. Minor annoyances, but I don't know, I don't like them. And then sometimes I'll be like switching tabs, and I'll try to click on it with the mouse click at the bottom of the touchpad. It's not even a mouse. I don't know what else to call it, though. I'm not really savvy on that lingo. But anyway, like, I'll try to click it, and instead of selecting it, it just closes the whole tab. Do you like my Thor hammer? I'm going to put my Captain America shield right next to it. That's where I keep it. But I got my Thor hammer. And then I got Mr. Spock. And I got a couple Pokeball. I got a Pokeball and a Master Ball. Yeah. I like to also... there's Cards Against Humanity. We keep that away from my daughter as well, because we don't want her playing that one yet. She plays Apples to Apples, which is kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but it's more mild and less horrible. Although I guess with the right people, you can make it a little horrible. I forget what it was. Like, there was one time the green card in Apples to Apples was like technological or something like that, and my daughter put down like the electric chair. Like, do you even know what that is? No. But she selected it anyway. I'm like, oh, yeah, I see you take after my husband. Oh my god, I tried to play Cards Against Humanity with my husband and his sister, and I'm never doing that again. Man, they were like trying to put down the worst things they could. I'm like, this is a little much for me. I guess I'm a little sensitive, stuff like that. But I even started like taking out some of the cards because I didn't like them. I didn't want to deal with that. So I like to keep my shirts and my husband's shirts separate. I even like started getting a different brand than him, so it would be easier to tell. And then his mom ended up buying some of the same brand for him. And I finally found a way to like differentiate between them, but I was like, how am I going to do this? But I'm glad she got him the shirts. I think he likes them, so it all worked out. It's all good. Oh, I think I was starting to say earlier, I like to keep little like mementos and stuff from my clients, because sometimes they'll give me like a piece of art, or they'll write something to me, and I like to keep those. And I still think about them. I hope they know like that I care about them like forever, and I'm always wishing them well, even though I may never talk to them again. I genuinely like pretty much every client. And I think I'm lucky that I'm able to do that, to find, I guess like the more you understand someone, the more you like them and have like empathy for them. And so it's easy for me to tap into that, especially like I have a hyper empathy thing where it's like really easy. So it's hard for me to dislike people. And then my workout clothes, I have like workout gloves, which my friend gave me, which are great for lifting weights, because otherwise it really hurts my hands. I miss going to the gym, though. I haven't gone to the gym since COVID, but I really liked the classes. And it's kind of sad that I can't do that anymore. And my friend also moved away, so he was the main person I would go to the gym with. And now I don't have a gym buddy. So even if I were going to go back, which I'd probably do it now, I think they established some protocols and stuff that I'd feel comfortable. having some, I don't know, distanced gym time. But I would want someone to go with. I also want to be making money, having some income, extra income, before I would sign up for a gym again. But it was nice having that, like, outside external motivation, even though internal motivation is the best. Nowadays, like, I just look up stuff online, or I go by what I remember from the gym classes I've been to and try to do workouts similar to those, which I still need to work out today. I've been putting it off. Some days I put it off so long that it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, okay, I want to go to bed, but I need to work out. And so I make myself. I've been really liking Kyra Pro. She does a really great job on making dance workouts. Ooh, so I'm finally to the last stage. So one thing I store in my closet are my daughter's gifts. So I have stuff that I'm getting ready for her birthday, and I also have stuff that's going to be for Christmas. So I'm going to sort out and make that a little more organized of what's Christmas and what's birthday. I know it's June when I'm recording this, and I've probably had some of that stuff for a few months already. So basically, and I've said this in other videos, but when it's clearance time, I go buy some of the holiday stuff that's on clearance, like the day after a holiday. So Optimus jumped off the shelf. I love that one because, like, he spins around and it's weird. Like, his giant chest spins around. Hey, kitty. Anyway, so I do have some Christmas stuff already. I have, like, a lot of holiday stuff ready. Most of it's in the other room, but the, like, gifts I'm keeping in here so she doesn't see. And I found some really good stuff on clearance. She's into that Raya and the Last Dragon movie. So I found some Raya stuff on clearance, which was way less money than one would normally spend for it. I always spin by the clearance section in Walmart when I go, just to see if there's anything that I can use for, like, a birthday or something. And then that Transformer you saw, she specifically asked for a Clobber from Cyberverse. So I got her a Clobber, and I got one for myself too. But she wanted her own Clobber. And I think she'll like that. That was another clearance Barbie thing. She likes those color change Barbies. I love Clobber, though. Like, she seems like not someone's favorite character usually, but I love that she turns good and that she ends up being on a team where, like, it seems like other people actually care about her and are friendly toward her. Because I don't think she got that when she was a Decepticon. And she's just really kind. I like that about her. I think she has a kind nature. We need more Clobber appreciation. And we need more... I love that she's, like, a female character, but they didn't, like, give her the, like, weird robo breasts and stuff. Like, they just made her look like a normal Transformer. I'm, like, trying to figure out what to do with all those hangers. I think I end up putting them in the guest room closet. I put a few in our closet, but there's, like, a whole mess of other hangers that I put in the guest room. So here we go. My closet is finally organized. Hooray! So there's those organization cubes and stuff hung up and folded. And then a little stash of presents for upcoming days for presents. It's looking a lot better. I'm very happy with it. Thanks for joining me on this long closet cleanup, and I will talk to you later. Bye.